This is the seventh short video about processes that occur during marriage counseling. And last time I talked about the ways of knowing the why people behave, why people do what they do, why people don't do what they probably supposed to do. During the marriage counseling session, we establish what's wrong, what has to be fixed, what is so battling, what is so humiliating, what we would like to achieve and we cannot. My role is to lead into the why it's happening. Before we do something, we would like to kind of tweak the situation, change the situation. We would like to understand why it's happening. The why allows us to go ahead and plan what next. So I summarized that there are four ways to understand why people do what they do. The first one was this behavior is a reaction of previous behavior or previous behavior. Let's say I scream and yell. Well, most likely people would say somebody got you angry. Somebody did something that you didn't like. So my bad behavior, unpleasant, unfair, not appropriate, is caused or understood by previous behavior. Another way to understand the why is need. My need of achievement. I can't make it within the family setting. My need of sexuality. I can't make it within the setting of the family or the marriage or the couple. My need of getting away from stress. I can't have it within the family. And so on. Need. The third is using very well structured theories in psychology regarding past events and what they did to us, traumas that fixed us, that put us under such an alert and excitement and anger and fear from whatever happening that we cannot control what we are doing, or we are doomed to do what we really don't like what we do. The fourth way to understand or to go and track behavior and see the why, I said it's looking at the value system of the person, the cultural background. Sometimes people curse because that's the way how people do at their culture. Sometimes people don't like to have sex in the middle of the day because in their culture, sex is being done only at night, in dark. But there is a fifth way or fifth direction to go in order to track the reason, the causality of behavior. It's something within our body, hormones, maturation, aging. What kind of things that happen to us and affect our behavior? Today I will ask the question, who determines the why? Suppose we go and do the screening, we exchange, myself and the people that I consult, the couple. Who decides what's right? Who decides what is indeed going on? Let me make a break. If we go to most professionals in our life, like doctors, like our mechanics, some kind of an engineer, if we have to build a house or to add some kind of a room or something, they have their own measurement. I go to the doctor, the drop of my blood, and the doctor tells me too much sugar, too much cholesterol, and so on and so. They know, they assess, they measure, and they tell me what's the situation. I go to my mechanic. He looks and says, your tires are no good. Here's the gauge, they're below whatever kind of a standard, you have to change the tires. They measure, they decide. In psychology, a few times psychologists measure and decide. If it's a question of intelligence, we can decide who is within the norm, who is genius, and who is below the norm. If it's a question of maladaptive behavior, psychopathology. We can decide, we have measurement tools to decide who is depressed, who is this lack of apathy to people, sociopath. We have those measurements. We measure, we decide. In marriage counseling, that's not the case. I have to share views. I have to throw in the air hypotheses. It's my role to bring as many hypotheses that make sense, that relate to theories of behavior, and it's also my role to see if the couple is willing to accept and go along in order to test. They are testing, they are examining, they are assessing the validity of my hypothesis. So it has to be a very shared decision making. In order to gain that, I have to be very, very sure that each of the people that I consult to them are willing to be honest, very honest. Sometimes I help them. I help them to say, well, it's not nice to say. Maybe it's fearful to say. But examine yourself. See, does it make sense? Do you think that you were affected from this and such event in your life? To conclude, the search for the why it's going, what's going on, why it's going on, is a mutual job. Myself, the professional, and my clients. So who am I? I'm Dr. Joseph Abraham, and this is my site. And most of my clients I see through the webcam, as you see me, or telephone. Few do come to my place in Mechanicsburg, PA. But basically, counseling and online counseling is something that I'm doing during the last 15 years. And there's no difference in the way how I help people, if it's either counseling, office meeting, or online counseling. Until the next time, so long.